Tell me how Vasper came about in the first place.
Vasper came about through a long history of working in the medical industry from the kitchen side. And prior to Vasper, I was a co-founder of a company called Cool Systems, which is currently marketed under the name Game Ready. And that's a company that basically replaced ice with specific type of cold cooling for treatment of joint injuries mostly. The current technology, Vasper technology, is based on increasing the anabolic drive, or basically increasing the secretions of the growth hormone, which then trigger the other anabolic hormones, testosterone, DHEA, and IGF-1. Those are the hormones that actually rebuild your body post-injury. And when we normally see children that are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, whenever those children get injured with a meniscus tear or ligament tear, they repair very quickly on their own because the body size is small, the muscle size is small, so the concentration of lactic acid that they produce throughout the day is tremendous. And the higher the concentration of the lactic acid, the stronger the release of the growth hormone. We basically biomimic what has happened to what happens to a physiology of a child like this by concentrating lactic acid in the quads and in the biceps. So as we grow from a child to an adult, the muscle size increases and the body size increases, of course. So it's no longer possible for us to trap and concentrate lactic acid in the muscle tissue like we used to when we were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. So therefore, every 10 years after puberty, we lose 14% of what we call endogenous, our own growth hormone. Mm-hmm. So we simply found a way how to biomimic the physiology of a young child and an adult by compressing the upper quads and biceps and exercising over 20 minutes with core cooling and grounding.
For someone who's used to working out for an hour, hour and a half at a time, you say to them, well, a 20-minute workout is really all you need. What kind of feedback do you get from people who find that to be difficult to understand?
Well, yeah, there's definitely a feedback of surprise and disbelief. What everyone reports once they actually get on the machine and they feel this lactic acid burn that normally would take them hour to hour and a half to feel, and they feel it within the first 5 to 8 minutes, then they actually connect and they see how they can actually get a 2.5-hour workout in 20 minutes because it's measured in the amount of lactic acid we concentrate in the muscle tissue.
With that session, there's also a cool down period, and then how does that work?
Normally, when you exercise with any kind of intensity, it takes usually about the same time to recover from that exercise. So if you exercise for 2.5 hours or 2 hours, it takes you about the same time to get your heart rate back to normal, get your body temperature to normalize, and the feeling of being tired sort of leaving your body. So when you exercise, let's say for an hour, you should always count for another hour of recovery. We give you the benefit of 2.5-hour exercise in 20 minutes. And then the reason you core cool afterwards is because when you stop exercising, even though we're cooling you, the minute you stop, your body temperature goes up. When you lie down on one of our cooling beds, we basically cool down the spine and the back of your neck and the back of your head. And the point is to drop the core body temperature of the cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid goes around the spinal cord, goes through all 4 ventricles in the brain, and goes back down. And most fluids in our bodies are mostly water. If you were to drop the core temperature of water, if you were to drop it, it'll pick up and absorb much more oxygen. So the same thing happens to our blood as we cool it. The same thing happens to our cerebrospinal fluid. As we drop the core body temperature of the cerebrospinal fluid, it actually delivers much more oxygen to the brain, So by delivering more oxygen to the brain, we speed up the recovery from 2 hours down to 20 minutes. So you have 20-minute exercise, 20-minute recovery, and then you leave here absolutely fully refreshed, full of energy, not tired. You can go back to work and be that much more focused, more efficient.
What is your ultimate vision for Vasper?
The ultimate vision is basically to bring this to the mainstream. So many people, several people have told me that what Vasper is to exercise is what transistor was to electronics. It basically takes it into a completely new paradigm. Our goal is to allow people to regain some of the function they had when they were much, much younger, have the capability to recover, rejuvenate faster, have the capacity basically to exercise at a level they are no longer capable of exercise. So when we work with people who have spine injuries, traumatic brain injuries, post-traumatic stress disorder, those people are not capable no longer of exercising at a level that you and I are capable of exercising, even though those people are much younger. So changing lives for these people is really the vision.
What about people with sleep problems? Can Vasper help in that regard?
Absolutely. We have pretty consistent reporting from our users, and that it definitely increases your quality of sleep. Some of it has to do with endogenous growth hormone that's released. Some of it has to do with the electrical grounding, which is part of the protocol.
What is the most gratifying thing to you about this Vasper experience?
The most gratifying is totally seeing people's lives change, and there's nothing that could be more gratifying than that.